Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law. The law. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
I bust them, eye for an eye, leave everyone blind. But I'm tired of losing mine. Another child dies, another child beat by the cop who walked the beat for arrest so he can meet his quota for the week. These days, can't walk the streets without the jakes trying to run up and search you for your pockets and murder you. That's criminal. The system accuse you with the same crimes they do to you and call it excusable. Sean Bell's killers acquitted. Troy Davis lynched and Mumia still in prison. I don't get it. In the land of the free, why you think young Curry guns carry guns? We've been taught violence since day one. So if they want peace in the streets, they can start with justice for your teeth and the family of Ramon.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk.
Bill O'Reilly has got everything figured out, including, of course, crime. That's on his beat. You know, he often refers to himself as a cop on the show. I'm the cop that stops it, whatever it is. Now, it turns out his grandfather was a cop, as he's about to explain to us. So that's what he fancies himself, even though he's, of course, a talk show host like me, sitting in a studio under the lights. So not walking any mean streets or anything along those lines, but he knows how they operate and what they need. And he's going to tell us all about it here.
Here are the facts. Chicago doesn't have a stop and frisk, all right? Their murder rate per 100,000 is 19, all right? Philadelphia, stop and frisk, very, very light, 21.5 per 100,000. New York City, stop and frisk, 5. So you can see in cities that use stop and frisk like New York, the murder rate is much lower. And here's what you're not taking into account. Everybody knows in these neighborhoods the cops are going to stop and frisk. You agree with that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So they are inhibited from taking the gun out of the house. They are inhibited from walking around on the streets with the gun. But once again, what you're looking at is you're looking at a presumption that the New York City Police Department is going out every morning and targeting young black males, all right? They want to roust young black males. And I don't believe that for a second. My grandfather was NYPD. I know these guys as well as anybody. They're going out to the, as Bloomberg said, to the worst neighborhoods, the highest crime neighborhoods, and they're looking. And they know who the wise guys are. They know where the drug dens are. They know where, they're not just walking around going, hey, you, come over here, all right?
Yesterday, Judge Shira Scheindlin decided that stop and frisk in New York City was unconstitutional, that it was being applied to blacks and Latinos at far greater a rate than their percentage of the population, and that they were being unfairly targeted to violate the 4th and the 14th Amendments. Fox News respectfully, kind of, disagrees. And what I love is the way that they are couching it in terms of, no, Fox knows best for black people. They weren't trying to protect white people, they were trying to protect black people. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Laura Ingraham, tell me all about it.
This is an unconstitutional, unreasonable search and seizure. Just on the face, it's not really a search, it's a quick pat down. It's not a seizure, you're not really seizing the person, it's just a very momentary stop. But the cops on the beat, it was interesting to read their commentary yesterday when this decision came down. They said it would make them less likely to follow through on the type of criminal reporting and criminal investigation that they really have to do in order to make this successful. Yep. They said it demonizes them in the community, and the judge will now demand that they affix cameras to their persons to record everything that's happening. Now, police officers, you know, and they're not perfect. They're like the rest of us, but they have a very difficult and dangerous job in cities in this country.
No doubt.
And to give them one more burden to do their jobs and say this is unconstitutional, it's another reason why we need presidential candidates to talk about how important the courts are.
Sure, it's controversial, but it's part of our strategy. It's not the only thing we do to make crime come down. It's a tool that we use very effectively. And again, the numbers are up. Sure, they're up. They're starting to come down a little bit. But look at the crime. 40% down in the last 12 years under the Bloomberg and Kelly administration, 80% down in the last 20 years. This is only a small part of what we do. And it's not just about shootings and guns. It's about crime. If we stop a person who's looking in a car and we don't have probable cause to make an arrest, but by us stopping him because we have reasonable suspicion to talk to him about breaking into that car, now he doesn't commit that crime. How many crimes have we prevented with the Stop and Frisk program? It's just impossible to determine.
Chief, it doesn't bother you that Stop and Frisk are up 600% under your watch?
Well, again, if you heard the testimony, there are reasons for that. We've changed the report. I think a lot of times in the past, people were stopped and the form wasn't filled out. It was a narrative. You had to write out why to stop, why you did the stop. Now it's a checkoff. So it's a lot easier for an officer to make out that card.
88% have found that they've done nothing wrong in these stops. That doesn't bother you, Chief?
Again, I go back to the point, how many crimes did we prevent? You know, we stop a person with reasonable suspicion. If it doesn't raise to probable cause, we don't make an arrest. But how many times do we make that criminal, perhaps, if it is a criminal, think twice and say, you know what, I can't steal this car tonight. I'm going to go home and go to sleep because the cops are onto me. That's the part that we can't measure. That's the untold story that I don't think gets out enough. How many crimes are prevented by Stop, Question, and Frisk?
Chief, you ran the department under Kelly, but how would you feel if it was your son being stopped and frisked?
My son was stopped. I was stopped. It's not like it just happens to people of color. I was stopped in the 70s. While I was a police officer, I was stopped. So, again, I don't think they stopped me because I was white. I think they stopped me because I had long hair and I was maybe acting suspiciously, I'm sure.
This is a typical morning outside the Bronx courthouse. Hundreds waiting to see a judge for minor offenses like disorderly conduct and loitering. It's a scene that plays out in courthouses every day all over the city. But our investigation has discovered that many of these people shouldn't even be here.
A New York police officer tonight breaking the infamous blue wall of silence and speaking out about something the NYPD has always denied. Cops have quotas for arrests and for tickets. And the officer says the pressure to make quotas means the arrest of innocent people.
Our primary job is not to assist anybody. Our primary job is to get those numbers and come back with them.
Why do it?
They have to meet the quota. 1 arrest, 20 summonses.
Things are not going to get any better. It's going to get a lot worse. And if you think 1 in 20 is breaking your up, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to do a lot more than what you think.
In another recording, a patrol supervisor appears to step up the pressure to write more and more summonses.
Next week, it could be 25 and 1. It could be 35 and 1. And guess what? Until you decide you're going to quit this job and go become a piece of delivery man, this is what you're going to be doing until then. You understand each other?
He's being clear. The only choice that we have is to do it.
You're telling me that they're just stopping people without a reason? Is that what you're saying?
We're stopping kids walking from school. We're stopping kids walking upstairs to their house. We were stopping kids from going to the store. Kids, young adults.
In order to keep your activity?
In order to keep that quota.
Feeling helpless, one young man has decided to document what he sees as a crime-fighting tactic gone too far. To get that message out, he's putting the Stop and Frisk videos that he shoots on YouTube under the name NYC Resistance. He has recorded dozens and dozens of stops in just the past year. Here he follows a group of officers for 1 hour as they walk the neighborhood, stopping to question and frisk school students. The stops all appear to be routine, carried out the same each time. Police stop the student or students, question and search them for weapons and drugs. Nothing is found. Cops move on and repeat the process. The NYPD and the mayor have argued that the stop and frisk policies have contributed greatly to the city's historically low crime rate. Still, the U.S. Constitution, in its Fourth Amendment, guarantees protection for all of us against unreasonable searches. And the NYPD's own criminal code clearly reads that a police officer may stop a person when he reasonably suspects that person has or is about to commit a crime. More roll call recordings adding another crack in the blue wall of silence. A veteran of the NYPD sitting down for his first on-camera interview since blowing the whistle on a Brooklyn precinct.
I wasn't meeting their undocumented quota, the non-quota quota.
In his first television interview, Officer Adrian Schoolcraft, an 8-year veteran, spoke about how a top-down pressure to make summons quotas corrupted policing in the 81st precinct.
I never set that as effective policing, or as they would call it, proactive. Be proactive. They were just reacting. When they grab bodies off the street, when the inspector refers to them as bodies, how many bodies have I got in the cells?
He says tapes he secretly recorded of his supervisors during roll call back his quota claims.
Well, they can make it real difficult for you. They can ship you somewhere. Just keep the hounds off. A Parker, a 250. You can force somebody walking down the street. You know what? I stopped for that. What? I did a 250. What's the big deal?
Schoolcraft says day in and day out it was all about the numbers, with little respect for people's rights.
I want 250 to see something. I want a ghost town. I want to be able to echo from one end of the street to the other. You understand? That's what I want in a perfect world. So that's your mission. Guys need college, need activity, there you go. They gotta give you a move.
We've tried repeatedly to get the NYPD to respond to our investigations into police quotas and aggressive stop and frisk policies. We've been mostly ignored until today.
There'll always be naysayers, there'll always be critics.
NYPD Commissioner Ray Kelly finally responded to our investigation, which raises the possibility the department's aggressive police policies, with its emphasis on quotas, is filling the courts with innocent people. The emphasis by the department on performance goals or quotas, whatever you want to call them, are leading to bogus summonses.
Well, all I can tell you is crime's down to record lows. We've seen a little increase. Last year was the lowest number of murders that we've had in this city since we started to record them.
But are innocent people getting caught in the NYPD's widening crime-fighting net? Court data we've obtained suggests a strong possibility. In 2008, city courts handled 382,000 misdemeanor criminal summonses, such as disorderly conduct and loitering. Out of those, 193,000 were tossed out by the courts. 51% of all summonses dismissed. Andrea Hibbert was charged with disorderly conduct for asking 6 officers why they were questioning her brother, who was parking the car following the funeral. You wrote to the mayor's office and you said, "I thought they were here to serve."
Serve and protect, not harass. And that's what we got that night, harassment.
When Miss Hibbert went to court, the judge tossed out her summons. Jose Sanchez got a disorderly conduct charge for standing outside a store. It got tossed out.
They're just singling people out for no reason at all.
The Colborn brothers say they and 3 other friends were the victims of quotas, all arrested a few months ago after one of them had fallen while racing each other.
And they just wanted to arrest us. I told them I felt, but none didn't matter to them.
All 5 were accused of engaging in tumultuous and violent conduct that caused public alarm, given a summons for unlawful assembly, and locked up overnight.
We went through the whole process, and we never even see the judge. They let us out the back door.
Keisha Rivera was ticketed for crossing the street with her baby in a stroller.
A cop car did a U-turn, and like 4 cops of them came out the car and stopped me and gave me a summons.
The number of summonses dismissed by the court has exploded in the past 15 years, from just under 37,000 tossed out in 1994 to more than 5 times that in 2008, a 500% increase. Half of all summonses tossed out. What do you think's going on?
Yeah, it's a lot of complex reasons for that. It has to do with the court's approach to a lot of these summonses. We can only do our job.
A judge has ordered the NYPD to change their stop and frisk policy, which has been very controversial. Rick Leventhal joins us now live in our New York newsroom with this breaking news. So, Rick, what happened and what'd they say?
Well, Martha, that ruling by the federal judge, a major defeat, at least for now, for the nation's largest police department, which has long defended its stop and frisk policy as a perfectly legal tool to keep New Yorkers safer on the streets. At least 250,000 people have been stopped by police since 2004 using this controversial policy that allows officers to detain, search, and question pretty much anyone they want. Critics say minorities were unfairly targeted, with blacks or Hispanics stopped in 4 of every 5 cases. That sparked a class action lawsuit. And today, U.S. District Court Judge Shira Scheindlin found that stop and frisk is an unconstitutional violation of the 4th and 14th Amendment rights of New Yorkers. This angered the mayor.
Stop, question, frisk, which the Supreme Court of the United States has found to be constitutional, is an important part of that record of success. It has taken some 8,000 guns off the streets over the past decade and some 80,000 other weapons. As guns continue to flow onto our streets from other states, we have to take every constitutionally protected step at our disposal to keep them out.
The mayor obviously opposing the judge's decision, and so does Police Commissioner Ray Kelly, who called it disturbing and offensive.
We do not engage in racial profiling. It is prohibited by law. It is prohibited by our own regulations.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law. The law. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
I bust up, eye for an eye, leave everyone blind. But I'm tired of losing mine. Another child dies, another child beat by the cop who walked the beat for arrest so he can meet his quota for the week. These days, can't walk the streets without the jakes. Trying to run up and search you for your pockets and murder you. That's criminal. The system accuse you with the same crimes they do to you and call it excusable. Sean Bell's killers acquitted. Troy Davis lynched and Mumia still in prison. I don't get it. In the land of the free, why you think young Corey guns carry guns? We've been taught violence since day one. So if they want peace in the streets, they can start with justice for your teeth and the family of Ramon.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
Yo, murder is murder and assault's assault. Time to shut the city down, bring business to a halt. Illegal searches, you ain't never had a warrant. The streets is on fire, don't consider this a warning. This a promise from the land full of promise. But APA give us offers after officers assault us. 13 years after Amadou, they still killing us. What you gon' do? Where you gon' run to when they run in your house? And they pull the guns out, one shot take you out. The biggest gang is the NYPD, and Mayor Bloomberg is they dirty ass chief. They stop and frisk, fill the jails with kids. Let's keep it 100, man, we tired of this. They guilty of murder, guilty of assault. Get a special prosecutor, man, prosecute them all.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
I seen a kid get beat, riding kicks down. Kicked him with hatred, called him a thief cause his skin's brown. Are we less human? We niggas are spits now. Has the mayor been stopped the frisk down in his town? They beat you there, locked you up in the crease bell. Many stories about abuse, power the streets tell. Bullets rain hell on black males from 2012. It's target practice preparing for another Sean Bell. Ray Kelly be calling up the officers to tell them officers search niggas to bring quarters in. 8 times I've been stopped for no reason. An unarmed kid was murdered, burned all the precincts. The badge is worth more than the life of a human being. No justice is just us fighting for fucking freedom. Instead we ask for IDs, giving severe beatings. I pray for the better, but the police kill Jesus.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Yeah.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the law.
Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk.
And we gon' stop.
Stop and frisk.
And we won't
So
stop.
we get justice.
And we gon' stop.
Stop and frisk.
And we won't
So
stop.
we get justice.
And we gon' stop.
Stop and frisk.
And we won't
So
stop.
we get justice.
And we gon' stop.
Stop and